Happy Monday, another day in paradise. And August 16th, halfway through the month, and what's going on? We have 25 days of inventory. It's going down, everybody, going down a little bit. We had as many as 27, and now we're down to 25 and a half. So probably 25 is a good way to put it. We listed 85 homes over the weekend. We put 93 under contract, and we had 161 closings on Friday. That's why the inventory is going down. We only have 3,236 single-family homes and available, 3236, and we had 3263 on Friday. So yeah, it's going down. We just listed 27 homes under 400,000, and we have 984 active homes under 400,000. If you remember, it was almost up to 1,100 not long ago since I started doing this particular stat. Things are changing. We're selling 112 a day, and that will go up by the end of the week because the weekend always messes up the numbers a little bit. I've started to do something new here, the non-owner occupied sales. And they're taking up 43 sales a day, everybody. Yeah, and for the year so far, that's 31% of the sales this year. Let's see, let me get over here to see who my peeps are. Yes, people watching, hello. Please comment, let me know who you are, where you are, and if you have any questions. We have a class today on agency, so we're going to be short and sweet today. I've got this new wheel down here that shows the property payment for a $400,000 priced home with 10% down, 3% interest. And the rates are going a little, up and down a little bit. They went down on Friday. So you can probably get a loan much under that depending on your credit score. I think you can go like 2.7, something like that. And depending on your lender, depending on all sorts of different factors, you can even get lower than that. And I'm sure Frank is up on that. Totally. Let's see. Let me do a sound check here before I continue. Sound check. Technical things always. See, looks like it's okay, it's on. Super. Okay. And let's make sure you can hear me. I didn't check that. Come on. Looks like it's there we go. Okay. Always like to do that because otherwise I'm talking to myself. Now, let's talk a little bit about the non-owner occupied sales. And I started doing some research, and it does take some time to do this research, so I didn't get as much done as I would like to. However, we had a class on Friday, and I believe it was Dennis, one of our class participants who comes into a lot of our classes. He said that he knew of an investor, and he's right here, Olympus, who was buying a lot of homes because he bought one of his homes. And the title company gave him a number of over 100 homes that these people have either in escrow or have closed recently. Well, since July, that particular lender has closed 33 homes. Now, Jimmy and I have had a discussion before about the non-owner occupieds. And one of the discussion is that the big, the hedge funds, the big guys aren't coming in and swooping up our homes. Well, then when Dennis said, I've got this fella, these investors, title company said they bought over 100 homes. So Jimmy says, Ruth, look into this, please. So I did. I am to make sure that these, that these are not the major hedge funds. And I will tell you this, that on my Saturday show, this Saturday and last Saturday, I brought to everybody's attention that these two, Blackstone and VC, are the big hedge funds that came in and swooped up so many of our foreclosures back 13 years ago now. Anyway, they're buying casinos. And just like Frank said on Saturday, it takes about a year to work out the details and the negotiations. But, you know, they have bought 16 properties, 1.73 billion in 2014 for the Cosmopolitan. And they also have a history of multi-billion-dollar real estate deals with MGM. So, and I did go over in a previous show the details on what casinos and how much they paid for each one. So then the casino operators just lease it back. So the big guys are coming in and buying the casinos because that's where they see, you know, the most bang for their buck, so to speak. So when I said that, Jimmy was concerned that perhaps there were some new ones. So we have these fellas aren't, Olympus is new. It's a company out of Utah, and they have put together a group of investors, and they're coming down and they're buying homes. And I think they bought over 160 year to date, but I just did the stats from July. It takes some time to do this. So I will go back and get these stats from January sometime this week. So this company that I've got the arrow, RSXII, Las Vegas owner, I think that's a ILP. Anyway, it looks like they bought 114 homes. Hi, good morning, Frank. Good morning. It looks like they bought 114 homes since July. And then you've got another one down here that bought 50, Progress Las Vegas. And then I just took the ones that bought 10 or more. And that's 361 homes. And that's 15% of the investors that are over 10 homes since July. So I don't know. I'd like Jimmy's feedback. We're going to do a class today on agency, and I'll find out what he says about that. So today, since we don't have a lot of time, I thought we would do something quick about video. You know, video is something that you really absolutely have to do, and you need to get comfortable doing it. You need to video everything, your open houses, your next listing. You need testimonials that are videos. There is going to come a day right around the corner when the only postings you can do on Facebook will be videos. That's what Mark Zuckerberg said 2 years ago when he was projecting what the next 10 years we're going to bring, 5 and 10 years we're going to bring for his company. So we have to get into video. And I know it's not easy because it wasn't easy for me, but I finally obviously do it. And if I was in real estate, I would be driving my neighborhoods and I would be filming the new listings in my neighborhood and talking about them, having all that information available. And one of the things that I think is interesting, let's see if I can show this thing in the stream here. Let me put myself down here. So if you have a listing, you can get the person who does, and please do the Matterports because people are really loving those. So you can get your videographer who does your Matterport to do a little editing. And let's just play this little video. It's there's not much to it here, but it walks someone through the house. Now, at some point, I would suggest that you get good at editing a video and it doesn't have to be fancy. If somebody does this part for you, then all you have to do is say, oh, and this is the bonus room, and this is the second bedroom, beautifully decorated with today's colors, and the master bedroom is really, or I shouldn't say master, the primary bedroom is really big. And you can just, script yourself out, but walk somebody through the home and then post that everywhere. On LinkedIn, on Facebook, on Instagram, and you can make this is really short. This is, let's see, how long was this? 28 seconds. And you can put it up in your stories. You need to just start getting comfortable with doing this. And if you have someone doing videos for you, for your listings, which you really should have, I mean, bad photographs, we already know, don't sell houses. Good photographs, people want to look at. Videos, people are watching videos 80% more than looking at pictures. So just a word to the wise out there. We're trying to stay ahead of the interlopers and the big bad Zillows and things like that. So we have to continue to up our game. And I want to talk briefly. I wanted to show you something else. Hang, please. Hold, please. Yeah. So So here's the printout of this particular home that I went in and I did a little snippet of myself. And so, I mean, you can just, have this as your notes so that when you're scripting your video, it goes along with what you said in your remarks. Stunning designer. Let's see, what does it say here? Let me put myself down here. Stunning designer finished single-story home located in the prime Northwest. And if you have a video like this, I mean, please, put it out there on all the social media and on your website. That here's what you can buy in Las Vegas for $468,000, and get it out there. Why do we say this? Well, there's 3,900 people moving to Vegas every month. That's 130 a day. And so if that's the case, people are looking for homes. And if you've got the video, these platforms are going to give you, like, the algorithms are going to put you out there in front of those people. And like Tom Ferry says, do a video a day and boost it for $1 a day. And to see what resonates with people. Target California, whatever you're going to do, but $1 a day. Just do one video a day, 28 seconds, and boost it out there. Hi, Karen. Good morning. Good morning. Good to see you as always. Hope you had a fabulous weekend. I like your new picture. I want to know where that is. I know we had the Raiders game on Friday night, and my Saturday show talked about all the places to park and the places to eat, and perhaps what the better routes were to avoid the traffic and things like that. And so if you have some time, you might want to watch it. And on Saturday, we had a fantastic show with a lender who does part of his business in Louisiana and part of his business here. And he was giving us a rundown on the various types of mortgages and what's coming back. The ARMs are coming back, and so on and so forth. So if you want to watch Saturday's show, you can scooch in till his name is Mark, till Mark comes on, and then take notes, because he really knows the market. And he's going to come back on the show, and I'm going to do a PowerPoint of his different, of all the different things he said. And one of the things that he did say is that there's not enough talk about the down payment assistance programs that are out there. So he says he just doesn't hear a lot about it, and he's not sure why. And then there's some similar programs coming out, not the stated income, but close. Some investor programs that are really cool. So anyway, it's an old, let's see, Karen says it's an old picture from the Redskin game years ago. Oh, so you're a Redskins fan. All right. Okay, I want to show you today. Where's my screen share? Oh, wow, I get a frog in my throat. I think it's from the dry air out there. Hopefully it'll go away soon. Okay, we're going to do setting up your phone to film. And I think that there's some things that might make your life easier if you watch this and you do this. And if you have your assistants or your team members that need to get their iPhone set up, this is really a good, this is lesson 2. Lesson 1's pretty good, but I thought we'll show this one today. So let me solo it and we'll get on. I'll go over to I belong to of course this, here we go.
So now let's set up your phone so that you can actually start filming. Now I'm not talking about camera settings on your phone, we'll get to that in the next lesson, but I'm talking about setting up physically your phone so that you can start filming videos. So I'm just going to move the camera over here so that I can show you the whole setup. And I'm just going to use this laptop over here because I want to show you something really cool. So typically what I recommend when you're setting up your shot, whether it's with an actual camera or your phone, is to use a tripod, right? But if we don't have a tripod, what do we use? Well, we just use what's around us. And the great thing about phones is that you can pretty much stack up your phone anywhere that's sturdy, whether it's on some speakers or a stack of books or whatever. But I do have a little hack that I love using instead of resting my phone on a stack of books, and that's using a laptop. Let me show you why. Let's move some of this stuff over here. There we go, and that way you guys can see. So like all laptops, they open up like this. And if I'm filming a video with my phone, what I like to do is that I like to set up my phone right there in the middle of the screen. I make sure that the camera is in the center of the laptop. And because I'm resting it on a laptop, I can actually change the angle of my shot because it's rested on my laptop. How cool is that? I'm actually going to start recording right now just to show you an example. So let's go ahead and switch to video. And I'm just going to put my phone right there, make sure the camera is right there in the middle. And here, I'm just going to bring this in the middle, and I'm going to switch to the iPhone footage right now. And as long as I'm looking in the center of the lens, then the camera should see me. But because it's rested on a laptop, I can change the angle of my shot. I can make sure I have enough headroom, or I can maybe add more headroom if I wanted to. I can bring it down more. And there you go. That's my shot. And the great thing about using a laptop is that if you have talking points or notes, you can actually set up your notes on your screen so that whenever you film, you have talking points to reference to while filming yourself on your phone. Pretty cool hack. So yeah, so there you go. So if you don't have a tripod, then just use what's around you. And if you have a laptop, then use a laptop. All right, back you go. All right, let's bring back over here. Okay, next tip as far as setting up your phone is to make sure you film horizontally. You could totally film in portrait mode if that's what you want to do, especially if you're filming content for Instagram or Instagram stories or TikTok. But if you're filming videos for YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, whatever, then it's probably a good idea to film horizontally. It's not really a set rule to it. It's just that people are used to seeing videos in landscape mode, and so it's best to film horizontally if you can. Another best practice is to use the rear camera of your phone. Typically, the cameras on the back of phones are a lot better than the front-facing cameras. And if you are filming content with your phone, you want to make sure to film with the best camera possible. I know it might make sense to use the front-facing camera so that you can look at the shot, but I find it sometimes distracting if I'm filming with a front-facing camera because I tend to look at myself when I'm filming when I should be looking at the camera. And also make sure that the rear-facing camera is in line with the middle of you. You want to make sure that you are in the center of the shot. And all that just takes practice. And so just go ahead and try filming with the rear-facing camera. You can totally film with the front-facing camera if that's what you prefer, but if you do want the best quality coming out of your phone, then definitely film with the rear-facing camera. And that, my friends, are my best practices to filming video with your phone. So now that we've set up our phone to film our videos, let's go ahead and go into the settings of your phone so that you can film some high quality videos. Now every phone is going to be different, but there are some things that we can all do to make sure that our phone is set up properly. Like, for example, the first thing that you want to do when you film your phone is to make sure to put your phone in airplane mode. There's nothing more annoying than filming video with your phone and then all of a sudden Aunt Betty wants to call and say hi. Now I'm sure your Aunt Betty is a nice person, but if you're filming a video, then you can't really be interrupted. Sorry, Aunt Betty. So that's the first thing that I do whenever I'm filming with my phone. I make sure to set my phone into airplane mode. Now let's get into the actual camera settings of your phone. I'm actually going to do a screen recording of my phone so that you can follow along as well. Now I do have an iPhone, and the settings that I'll be showing you will be for iPhones, so keep that in mind. But the same best practices should apply if you have an Android phone as well. All right, let's get into it. First, let's screen record. Okay, here we go. So I'm going to go to my settings, and I'm going to go down to the camera app, which is right over, here we go. And I've already made my settings already, and I'll walk you through each of them, starting with the top. Let's go to preserve settings. I've clicked those options already, and I'll tell you the reasons why. For camera mode, it says preserve the last mode, such as video or square, rather than automatically reset to photo. So with this option turned on, it preserves your previous camera mode settings so that whenever you turn your camera back on your phone, it is the same camera mode that you've set before. So if you filmed a video, you stop recording, turn on the camera again, it's still in video mode. Next one down, it's creative controls, and with this option turned on, it preserves your previous camera settings. And so if you're filming a video in 4K at 24 frames a second, you're going to preserve those video settings the next time you turn on your camera on your phone. One of the most annoying things when you're filming with a phone is that the camera resets itself to its default settings. Ooh, so annoying. I would much rather preserve the settings that I prefer every time I film a video, and so that's why I turn on that option. Live photo doesn't pertain to this, so let's go back to the previous menu. So next one down, grid. Grid I sometimes use and sometimes don't, but whenever I turn on grid, it helps me set up my composition properly. Sometimes if I'm filming something like a landscape, I want to make sure that the horizon looks even. That's where the grid option really comes in handy. It helps you compose your shot properly. Sometimes I do find it annoying, but sometimes I do find it helpful, and so I just turn on and turn off that option as I see fit. We're going to skip the scan QR codes because that doesn't really apply, but the next one down is record video. Now, my favorite video settings for my phone is to film in 4K at 24 frames a second. Some people like to film in 30, and that's totally cool. But I like filming in 24 frames a second because it is the cinematic look, if you will. And the best way to explain that is that the 24 frame per second look, or the cinematic look, is what you expect from seeing a movie, where the 30 frames a second is what you'd expect when seeing a reality show. It has that video look, which isn't bad, but my preference is to film at 24 frames a second. Now keep in mind, if you do film in 4K, that's going to eat up a lot of space on your phone, and so if you do decide to film in 4K, make sure you have adequate space on your phone. Next one down is the slow motion settings. I like to film at 1080p at 120 frames a second. There is an option to film more like at 240 frames a second. I think it's a bit over the top. I mean, if you want to film like super slow motion action, then you do you. But for slow motion, I actually quite like filming in 120 frames a second at 1080p. Record stereo sound, I make sure that's on, and go down to format. Now there are two options you see here. It's high efficiency and then most compatible. If you film with high efficiency, it films with a specific codec that will save space on your phone. However, if you bring that video footage to your computer, chances are your computer's gonna have a hard time decoding that video format because of the high efficiency format that your phone records in. For me, I like to film my videos that is most compatible because I want the option to bring my videos to my computer so that I can edit them there. And that's pretty much it for the video settings of my camera. Again, those settings were specific to iPhones, so keep that in mind. But if you do have an Android phone, you should have similar settings, and so hopefully you're able to follow along. Okay, so now let's talk about some gear that you can get for your phone. Now, one of the first pieces of gear that I recommend to film with your phone is to get a tripod. You can get a full-on tripod if you want to, as long as you have an iPhone holder, but I would actually consider getting a small tabletop tripod, one not only to set up your phone on a table, but also a tripod to vlog with. There are many great tripods out there, but there are two that I highly recommend. The first one is a switch pod. Now, switch pods are made for vlogging, and they're really easy to set up your phone on your table. Let's see if I can pull one out right over here. Here we go. Okay, so here is a switch pod, and basically it's a vlogging tripod. It's absolutely fantastic because you can whip it out and set up your camera on your table, and then close it back up so that you can vlog. Pretty cool. Now, whatever tripod you decide to use, make sure to have a phone holder. And I'm sure you've seen it everywhere. They're basically these little things over here, and they usually expand so that they can fit your phone. And this is my specific setup. You don't have to get it because, well, it's not the easiest setup, but this is what I do. But basically, I have a quick release plate that I attach to my phone holder. This is the Manfrotto RC2 quick release plate. And there we go. Now that's on, and I attach my phone to the iPhone holder, and simply I connect that to the switch pod. So there you go. So if I'm filming a vlog, I can vlog like so. I can either use the front facing camera or the rear camera, whatever I want to do. And if I want to set this whole thing up on the table, just open the tripod legs and then set it on the table. Easy. And the next tripod that I recommend is the Joby GorillaPod. I'm sure you've seen this tripod everywhere because pretty much every video content creator has a Joby GorillaPod. It's that tripod that vloggers like to use and bend the legs so that they can use it to vlog with. And with that tripod, you could pretty much shape it however you want. You can bend the legs, you can set it normally and set it on a table. It's a really great tripod and one that I really recommend as well. Another piece of gear that I recommend for your phone is to get an audio mic. The audio quality coming from the internal mic of your phone should suffice in most cases, but it's not going to be as clear if you're filming with a dedicated external mic. There are many great brands out there, but the audio mic that I recommend is from a company called Rode, and it's the Rode VideoMic Me. It's pretty easy to set up. Just make sure to use the mic that's specific to your phone, simply plug it in, and start filming. That easy. So we all know that audio coming from phones isn't necessarily the best, which is why I attached a microphone to my vlog setup. So now we're going to compare the audio between the Rode VideoMic Me versus the microphone coming from the iPhone XR. Here we go. First up, the Rode VideoMic Me. Test, test, 1, 2, 3. Test, test, 1, 2, 3. And now here's the audio coming from the iPhone XR's mic. Test, test, 1, 2, 3. Test, test, 1, 2, 3. And the last piece of gear that I recommend for your phone is to get a wide angle lens. Now, not every phone has a wide angle lens, and sometimes when you vlog with a phone, the composition might look a little bit too tight. So if you're filming yourself, you might see too much of your face on the screen, and that might be totally fine for you. But if you're filming with a wide angle lens, that means you're capturing more of the scene in your shot. It's really great for vlogs and for travel videos because you just see more of your environment in the shot. And it's a really more versatile angle to film with. And if you do want a closer shot, then simply bring the camera closer to you. That simple. So now we're going to do a vlog test so that you can see what vlogging on a mobile phone is like. I've attached the Sandmark wide angle lens because when you vlog, you want to be able to shoot as wide as you can. In fact, here's the difference between using a wide angle lens versus using the camera on your phone. Okay, here's what it looks like when you're using your phone's camera. And now I'm going to attach the wide angle lens. There you go. And there you go. As far as apps goes, you can use whatever you want. You can even use the native camera app on your phone, but my preferred app is using Filmic Pro because you can control and adjust the exposure, the focus, frame rates, the audio, and it's pretty much the go-to app if you're filming video with a mobile phone. Speaking of apps, there's even apps to edit videos on your phone. There are tons to choose from, and so really it all comes down to preference. So I'm just going to share my top 2 favorite apps to edit videos on your phone. For iOS, I recommend using iMovie. It's the simplest editor out there in my opinion. Or you can use an app that's available for both iOS and Android, and that app is called Adobe Premiere Rush. We're not going to get into the editing aspects of this video, but at least I wanted to share with you my favorite apps to film and edit videos on your phone. And that's pretty much the gear that I recommend to level up your game when filming with your phone. You want to make sure you get a tripod, you want to make sure you get an external audio mic, and you want to make sure that you get a wide angle lens if your camera doesn't offer that already. But if you don't have access to any of that gear right now, totally okay. Just set up your phone anywhere that's stable, make sure you film in a quiet place, and make sure that the lighting looks adequate when you film your videos on a phone.
Okay, everybody. So I thought that was some really, really good information, and I hope that you enjoyed it. There we go. Let's make sure that my audio came back on. Come on. Yes, it did. Yes. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, and 95% of the times it works. So good. I hope you have a wonderful day. Hope you enjoy those videos. You can watch them as many times as you want. He goes pretty fast, which I liked because we only have a few minutes to get through it, and then you can rewatch it, take notes, and start doing video now. And you all know Mike Ferry, right? Well, he wrote 101 things that Mike Ferry says, okay? Today, he says, when you die, what do you want your headstone to say? Dead at 44, buried at 65. So you guys get to videoing because that's where the future is. Love you all. Have a great day, and we'll see you tomorrow, or we'll see you in the agency class today. The agency disclosure is 1 page, the duty owed, but the division unpacks it on 22 pages. So there's a lot on that 1 page that you need to know. See you soon.